Welcome back already. Time now for game number 2. We've got Newbie taking on EHOME in clutch Summit 2 China match. Summit 2? What the hell are we talking about? Summit 4 China action. Divide by 2. I don't know why I did there. But we've got important action coming your way. Before we do, a bit of an update. SEA Dota is happening over on the Beyond the Summit 2 stream. If you guys want to check out Fnatic vs. Mineski, that winner bracket final match is currently in game 2 with Fnatic taking game number 1. So definitely worth checking out. Open up your multi-twitches or choose SEA if you'd rather watch that. But right now, right here, we've got Newbie versus EHOME. Game 2 draft underway. It was EHOME taking game 1. And, the names are messed up. What have you done to me? Dota 2, please. Well, unfortunately, sometimes this happens. So we don't know who exactly is who. I know Bew is Banana. Newbie drafter is How. I believe How is drafting, and then that means the drafter over here is Lanem. Lanem 11, the E for 11. Dude, I don't know. This is going to be a nightmare. God, I did not sign up for this, you know. Casting Dota at 6:30 in the morning is meant to be easier than this, but we've got a draft. Let's talk hero picks, because that's something I can do. Newbie in the first pick side. On the dire side, EHOME Radiant with second pick. It was a first pick Tusk. Definitely a top pick, especially in the Chinese scene, and something you want to take away from 11, who plays it ridiculously well. Was banned out going back to game number 1. So game 2, we see EHOME take Queen of Pain with the Undying. So 11, again, will be handling the Undying, I imagine, with the Tusk taken away. So familiar sight for him. His Tusk, I would say, is scarier, but his Undying pretty damn good as well. And Newbie get the Lina as their second pick once more. So very versatile opening for Newbie, Tusk, Lina, 2 heroes who can go multiple different lanes, different roles,
10 seconds
and
remaining.
Doesn't really give away too much about what you have planned.
5 seconds remaining.
I do have to quickly log off on Steam. I'm sorry, Roland, don't panic. Better go offline. There we go.
Reserve
We're fixed.
time.
All right. Just before I get bombarded with Steam messages and get invited to join the Kappa Club or whatever it may be, or whatever worse stuff it could be. EHOME, pick up Dragon Knight. So more of maybe a push strat coming out from them this time around is what you always kind of think when you see a Dragon Knight pick up. That's going to likely be the mid-hero old chicken. He's played quite a lot of it going through like the Nanyang China qualifiers as well as other events that EHOME have been playing during ESL as well, leading up to the qualifiers there. So we'll see how EHOME do. Unfortunately, EHOME could not go to ESL 1 New York. I was about to say, I was like, wait, didn't they win ESL 1 qualifiers? And I was like, yeah, that's right, but EHOME didn't play there. So yeah, IG actually replaced them at the ESL 1 New York event because EHOME could not get visas in time since it was scheduled like a week after the qualifiers ended for whatever insane reason. So I don't know what happened there, but unfortunately we did not get to see EHOME as the Chinese representative despite winning the qualifiers, but we'll see them in Nanyang this coming weekend. Another event they did win the qualifiers for. So they won the Nanyang qualifiers, they got their visas for Singapore, and they will be going. I saw a tweet, I think it was just like yesterday or last night, saying they got all their visas. So EHOME are headed to Singapore, no problems there. And yeah, Liquid has also already arrived. There are pictures up. Liquid training in some Singaporean cyber cafes, having a good time eating some local food and all that. But right now, this game is what we're going to keep our focus on. I guess EHOME, a team that we're going to be seeing more of in Nanyang, so definitely interesting to see what kind of shape they're in. Newbie, unfortunately, did not make it out of the qualifier, so they will not be at Nanyang. It's going to be cdec, Vici, LGD, and EHOME as the 4 Chinese representatives. 4 Chinese teams in a 10-team tournament, and of course being hosted by KeyTV. But that's happening. We're flying out tonight. I'm actually flying out in like 15 hours. Jesus, that's soon. I need to go pack. Well, I need to do more than pack. I need to get a haircut. I need to go shopping. I need to sort out my affairs. It sounds like I need to write, like, I don't know, a will or something, as if I'm in a plane crash. Roland, if I die in a plane, you can have all my stuff. How's that sound? All right, he's happy. He didn't seem that happy. You can just think of all the whiskey you can buy with all of my esports dollars. Do you know how much BTS is worth? It's got to be worth at least like $10,000 or something. Our company, $10,000 can buy you a decent amount of whiskey.
5 seconds remaining.
Worth more, perhaps, you know. Maybe I'm undervaluing BTS. Any investors out there, I'll sell cheap. No. I forgot the Kappa at the end there. If Winter was here, it'd be like Kappa. EHOME, last pick Slaughter. So they are going very early mid-game centric here. It looks like an off-lane Queen of Pain, possibly even a support Queen of Pain, depending on how the Undying's going to fit in. Slaughter picked up as their safe lane farmer. Dual lane's a possibility. Could see something like a Queen of Pain Undying off lane, Bane Slaughter, safe lane, DK mid is the most likely. For the Newbie side, they did go into the Alchemist, so we'll see a core Alchemist for them. I've already forgotten which one is how. I'm not sure exactly what's going on here. These damn usernames. Banana going to be on the Winter Wyvern, so we'll just load on in, because names are not going to be my forte. As long as I've been casting Dota, I picked up a few Chinese phrases and words here or there, but this is beyond my realm of knowledge as far as speaking and understanding Chinese. Well, not speaking, reading Chinese. I do not read Chinese. I just know a few words here or there, and most of them are not PG-friendly words I can use during a cast, let's just say. So here we go. We're going to load ourselves in just a second. Liking what I'm seeing out of the EHOME draft. It's going to be a draft which can pressure the Alchemist a lot. Slaughter, to me, a great counter pick to Alchemist. He's got terrible stats, really bad base armor. You can just destroy Alchemist using this hero. That's a good idea. Let's try and reconnect. We're going to try and reconnect, see if we can fix things with the names. Sometimes, despite selecting it to go in a ticket, sometimes the official names don't pop up. I hope reconnecting is going to work. Don't tell me I've jinxed it here. Fingers crossed, guys. Let's get back in. Come on. Come on, come on, come on. Oh, gosh, Roland, this is all your fault. Look what we've done now. Oh, we're in. It's a sign. The Vici Gaming Tusk set. Vici Gaming just winning 2-0 their earlier match, but we'll be seeing Vici Gaming play their winner bracket final to decide the team going to LA after Nanyang. So no more matches after today for China. There'll be, I think, an SEA match or two tomorrow, but we'll have to wait and see. We're loading back in. It looks like things should be okay in a second here. Oh. All right. I actually don't mind that casting all these Chinese games because like Nanyang's coming up in a few days, so I feel like I'm getting to watch and see a lot of the Chinese teams that are going to be playing there. Not to mention, most importantly, I'm on the right schedule. I'm on a Chinese schedule before we even head off to Singapore. All right, name's still broken. No good. All right, we're going to help ourselves into it. We're going to, we're going to just call heroes by their hero names. We've got Dragonite, Bane. We know them. Or Tropos if we want to go old school with the Warcraft 3 Dota names. But EHOME on the Radiant side. I'll introduce them with who I think the players are. I believe this is Old Chicken on Dragonite. Bane is possibly LAN M, possibly not. I believe Bane will be LAN M, maybe. Queen of Pain is going to be the offlaner, so that's 11 playing the Queen of Pain. Yeah, 11. No, 11's on Slaughter. That's 11 there. The E is for 11, I believe. So Queen of Pain is cdec.y. That means Slaughter is 11. And then... Oh, timed out. As I was getting so close to unraveling the puzzle that was the confusing nicknames, they say you're getting too close to figuring out our secret. This can't happen. Let's kick him out of the game. And that leaves the other support, the Undying, which is their other EHOME support. I guess I don't know which one's LAN M. Which one was? Yeah, so LAN M is Bane, and the other support being who's the other EHOME support? Why can't I think of the other EHOME support right now? Producer, help me. Give me names. Kaka. So they are Undying as Kaka. No thanks to my producer, by the way. Gosh, absolutely useless. It's all right. You're still on my will. Don't worry about that. As I say that, he starts choking on Red Bull. It may be him who needs to ride a will soon. So on the dire side, we've got Newbie. It's going to be a support Night Stalker. That's going to be in the hands of Chizbug, I imagine. It's going to be looking for an early kill on the Bane. It's going to see Lina taking a lot of damage here. Lina's going to be careful. Dragonite gets an early first blood here, and what's Dragonite doing in the off lane? This is not the lane I was expecting the Dragonite to be in, but it does get a first blood onto Lina. Bane goes down in return. So, it's the Chizbug Night Stalker. We've got Lina in the hands of How, I guess? How is going to be playing, yeah, How is playing the safe lane farming Lina. Banana going to be playing Winter Wyvern. Alchemist playing the I feed mid lane role, aka Moo. Solo killed by Queen of Pain. Oh boy. And then off lane is going to be Newbie off laner, which is, yeah, Zhao Tulei. There we go. Producer's redeemed himself by helping me out there. So, okay, we figured out who's playing what. That's some good news. But right now, aggro trialing with a Dragon Knight. Early point in Dragon Tail. 1 point in the heal for now. Or the aura, I guess. Aura. Oh my gosh. Heal, aura. No, passive. That's the word I'm looking for. It's early in the morning. Red Bull does weird stuff to your head. Don't drink Red Bull, kids. And we'll have the Breathe Fire probably being what he goes back for at level 3, 4, 5. I don't think we'll be seeing a Illidan-style no Breathe Fire Dragon Knight. He used to go this safe lane carry Dragon Knight and not level up his nuke, which seemed a bit questionable, but right now, EHOME. We'll see what they can get out of this playing Dragon Knight for themselves. Been under a bit of pressure here. Talking Winter Wyve, another Arctic Burn coming out. He gets healed up a little bit by the Undying here. He's still alive. He's salving. He's going to be just fine. Is there a turnaround? It looks like Lina could be in some trouble. Decay needs to be used soon. That is a salve. That's not being cancelled. He's getting almost the full heal out of this one. Nice. I think 2-hero Decay, and here comes the Dragon Knight. Another stun coming out. The heal from the Cold Embrace. Going to keep Lina alive for now. LSA at the ready. Looking for a 2-hero stun. Just gets the one, and Bane should be able to finish off the kill. Undying actually takes it with the Decay. 6 Decay stacks. Read 'em and weep. And, oh, hello. Hello, hello. EHOME. Dominating the mid lane. I think that's CTY playing mid as well. Yeah, that's, I believe, CTY. Not all. I think Old Chicken would be on the Dragon Knight. I'm not sure if we can. I don't want to like get out of the game and go snoop around Steam profile. I'm not sure which is which, but presumably, normally it is Old Chicken who plays the Dragon Knight. Although every single time I've seen Dragon Knight's been mid. So Old Chicken the mid player, but also the Dragon Knight player. Not that Dragon Knight's a particularly difficult hero to play. It's not like, oh, we picked Dragon Knight play. We've got to put our secret DK play on it. It's not like a Meepo or something. It's probably one of the more straightforward heroes to play. It's much more about decision-making rather than mechanics. So 11 on the safe lane slider. Just having a 1v1 match here against the matchup against the Tusk. Has a bit of crash. We'll hit him with it. Gets a right click off if he wants to, but doesn't want to draw the tower aggro. Just getting some decent harass off. And the eye shots come out slider. Put under a bit of pressure there. Could have seen a snowball under the tower if he wanted to go for the kill, either popping the stick or the mango, but it would have been a risky move to make. So 4 kills to 1 EHOME advantage, and half of that coming from the mid lane Queen of Pain, who gets the DD rune. Can he get out of here? Shadow Strike not available, but he's got a Scream. He's going to turn and fight with a DD. He should win this one. He's bottling up, and he'll be just fine. Banana's got no way out, and Night Stalker kind of rotating off the off lane. Will not be here in time. Meanwhile, Tusk kills the Slider. That's happening down in the off lane. As the Winter Wyvern gets solo killed by the Queen of Pain. This Queen of Pain 3-0 already. I can only imagine it's CTY. CTY, the 10-minute god. That's CTY. Okay, so Little Goku is, yeah, that's CTY. I'm getting confirmation. The Little Goku is CTY. Received confirmation, at least from one person. Top lane, Dragon Knight gonna get stunned up and brought down. The Nightmare unable to help him. Maybe could have looked to use it defensively to try and dodge the LSA or to go for a deny. Bottom lane, Slider now looking for the Tusk. Snowball not available. He could go for a stick and a snowball underneath the tower. Slider gets one more crush off. He'll get the kill. He'll go down, it looks like. 48 HP, not enough. That tower was going to do about 50-ish to him. So maybe if he had like 5 more HP, could have lived. Looked like the previous tower shot did about 50 to 55 damage. But still worth it for 11 Slider to get the solo kill, to get the experience out of it. EHOME's offlane, tri-lane, doing reasonably well so far. But yeah, it has been Queen of Pain dominating the early game so far. 4-0 here early on. Sonic Wave available for Queen of Pain as well. So we'll see Alchemist fall back in the jungle. 3 deaths to an Alchemist. 0 and 3. Holy crap, is this Alchemist struggling. Corp now level 7. Anyone who comes mid is likely just going to go down to a Sonic Wave. He hasn't even had to use the Sonic Wave yet, and this is where you'd normally see Queen of Pain look to pick up something like a TP scroll. Here we go. Queen of Pain coming towards the top lane. We'll see Bane go down before Queen of Pain can show up, and Queen of Pain decides against initiating into those 2-3 heroes. In fact, there's even 4 dire heroes up near this top lane. CTY will just head back mid where he's gone for a double null talisman build. Very early game centric item choices. And it seems his decision will be for EHOME to rotate Dragon Knight back bottom. Get some safe lane farm. The offlane not really working out for the time being. Things go out onto the Tusk. It looks like they did spot his rotation coming back towards the mid lane with that earlier planet Observer Ward. For EHOME, it's very much... They want to get this Queen of Pain involved. I'm surprised to see no TP right now on cty. It feels like getting a treads plus TP right now would be the ideal way to allow yourself to move around the map. Slider can go in top, look for a just sprint into a crush. He's got Tranquil Boots. He moves incredibly fast with the sprint up, and then you just TP him with the Queen of Pain. And he'll pick up a TP. No treads for now. It looks like he just wants to save the money to try to get the faster Orchid or whatever it may be. And with an amp damage coming out, this could be the TP rotation. Swap ready to go. Has illusion runes as well. If he wants to try and mind game the other team, thinking he stayed mid using these. And he's actually kind of headed towards another lane. Which one is what? What are we doing here? Mu is Lina. Okay, so How is playing the Alchemist. How is playing the mid Alchemist and getting crushed. So Mu is on the safe lane Lina. How went mid on Alchemist. Is that right? Okay. We're matching icons up to player names. It's a jigsaw puzzle. It's like that little kids game you play where you've got the box with holes in, and you've got like a circle, a triangle, a square, and you've got to match the triangle to the other triangle, the circle to the other circle. That's what we've managed to do here. We're as smart as a kindergartner, Roland. Do you feel... Yep. Initially, we're putting the wrong circle in the wrong square into the triangle into the... I mean, the triangle was just thrown out the window. I don't even know. We're doing something wrong, but we're there. It took us 7.5 minutes, but we figured it out. Slider at top. Careful about dropping those Tranquil Boots. Laguna Blade, easy kill. Down goes 11, getting a bit cocky up here, and still we have not seen Queen of Pain successfully rotate anywhere yet. Is How actually still farming this? Queen of Pain searching around in the jungle. Will walk into How soon. He's in Chemical Rage form for now. Queen of Pain does maybe go for this one with a blink, but doesn't look like that's going to be the case for the time being. I'm surprised How kept farming there. This Dire Observer Ward saw Queen of Pain walk past up that hill, and Alchemist for a little while was sitting on about 2/3 HP, which was the threshold to get a kill. With a Scream Sonic Wave, that would have been a dead Alchemist. So How, I mean, he doesn't die there, but it almost feels like he was slightly on tilt with the way he played. It was not the... I guess you've got to take risks when you're this far behind in the early game farm, but surprised to see him do it in that fashion. Mid lane, here we go. Slider sprinting forward. We'll just end up deciding to go into the enemy jungle. Maybe pretending to go for the Alchemist here, who will see him coming. Amp damage comes out. It's Tusk mid lane. What? What on earth did I just miss? T-Tours are real. Solo kill onto the Queen of Pain. Tusk. This pre-10 minutes, cty. The 10-minute god goes down. That is not supposed to happen. Not one bit at all. A straight-up solo kill from the Tusk out on the Queen of Pain. Absolute misplay. That completely shocks me. That was not something I was ever going to catch, just by the sheer shock factor of it. Queen of Pain going down. That was a dominating streak as well. Queen of Pain comes back to the mid lane now. Will be finding a kill on Lina. Lina gets one in return onto Undying. Bottom lane. Here we go. Snowball on in. There's another fight breaking out. It's going to be the Dragon Knight laying out a stun onto the Tusk, preventing the Walrus Punch, and Tier 1 tower has been claimed. Meanwhile, the Tier 1 tower in mid, getting chipped away at by it. Not really chipped away, it's taking some pretty big-sized rocks to its dome as a double damage Queen of Pain looks to bring it down. Rotation from Banana on the Winter Wyvern. Blink forward. Sonic Wave is there, and he goes down before he can Cold Embrace. He got that Cold Embrace off. Could have possibly survived, or at least forced Queen of Pain to linger around for a second Scream. Nice kill to be getting, and it will be a Boots at Travel Rush for Queen of Pain. Interesting. Very interesting. Regen rune picked up by the Tusk in the bottle. Queen of Pain deciding too risky to go for that, as Lina will look to acquire the top rune and deny it from the Queen of Pain. Slider still after a few deaths. By a few, I mean 4 deaths. This Slider's really been struggling this game, much like the Alchemist. Although Alchemist starting to recover. We'll find a bounty rune now. We'll get him 400 gold and get him one step closer to a Radiance. 3.2k gold. Alchemist recovery is happening. Not completely there just yet. As far as the quad, I was very surprised to see a Boots of Travel pick up. I guess it's an early game investment. You save on some TP money, and it means your team can go, like, you can play that kind of Tinker style where your team goes smoking up or looking to fight somewhere, and then you can be farming and TP in. So it does allow you to be more efficient in general because you don't have to have a tower to TP to. You can TP to a creep wave. And that's likely what we're going to see here at top lane. TP coming in from a Queen of Pain. They'll bring down Lina. Can they get a second? It is daytime for a little bit longer, but no blink forward from the Queen of Pain. Would have put yourself in a very vulnerable position. With the DK ulti form, they will bring down this top tier 1 tower. No glyph available. And it seems that the Dire side Newbie just going to look to counter push some of these other lanes.
Dire's top tower has
Alchemist getting chased down.
Radiant's middle
He's
tower.
picked up his relic now. We'll just get amped up. He wasn't really in that much danger. Fiend's Grip on mid. They've caught out the Tusk. There's going to be a Crush to follow this one up. DK's done as well. Actually, no mana for a Crush. Now he gets it. Looks like the Arcane Boots from the Bane allowed it, but it was the DK coming in with the Dragon Tail who helped secure the kill. And that's a big kill on the Tusk, who was starting to get out of control. Now they're going to look to turn and fight. Blink in, Shadow Strike. Still daytime for 3 more seconds. They get the kill with the Slider. LSA off the mark. May have led to a counter kill if he could hit that LSA Laguna combo. And the Dragon Form wearing off, but I don't even think that matters. Maybe I get this tier 1 tower regardless. Glyph is there, 10 seconds on Night Stalker, 13 on Tusk, so it's a very dangerous push to go for. Queen of Pain headed towards top, maybe anticipating a rotation up here. This has not been scattered up by the Dire team, it doesn't look like. Slider at the ready with a Bane. We'll put down an Observer, would I imagine.
Tower is under attack.
Sneaky little spot here. Behind the tower, less, I guess, expecting like a sentry to be planted here, which may be out of range to deward this spot. So, hoping that this spot wouldn't get dewarded. Sentry now, will he be on point with this? Is he even going to use it? Looks like he's chasing for kills for now. Winter's Curse, another Slider, LSA Laguna. Not gonna even need, okay, well, still secured. We'll take it. Queen of Pain now. Realizing this top lane a bit dangerous. We'll back off. Has the first Oblivion staff coming out on the Courier. And this will be spotted by an Observer Ward, so that reveals the Queen of Pain still being in this top lane. It looks like the call is to go for a smoke. Bane says, let's gather on up. Let's look to make a play, and then Queen of Pain can always look to use those Boots of Travel to rotate on in, should she be needed. As far as the early game is concerned, a 2,000 gold lead going EHOME's way. Considering they're against an Alchemist, and Alchemist is not going to be in fighting shape for a long time, this is a pretty solid lead. Normally, like, the Alch just has that. Like, an Alch team generally wants to be ahead in terms of farm because his actual power level is not really represented by his net worth. He can be 2 to 3k gold ahead, but not at all ready to fight. Just because you're ahead in gold does not mean you're stronger when you've got an Alchemist on your team. This hero just needs so many items to become relevant, and it does seem a very, I don't want to say, like, not like a niche pick or anything, but he's a very risky pick. So decent timing on his Radiance despite the Queen of Pain getting multiple solo kills. In the top lane they've gone in. Banana will get caught out. The DK led the way with the stun. They've got the ulti form up on the Dragon Knight if they want to pressure the tier 2, but it looks like they realize aggression is coming their way. Undying in the trees here. Has got a tombstone. He plants it right away, but made to see the tomb get brought down. And yeah, they'll sacrifice the Undying. Instead, go for this mid tier 1 tower, which likely going to get glyphed and defended here if you're Newbie. The question is, do they have the TPs to defend it? It comes out, no rotations just yet, and they're going to give this one up. The final tier 1 tower brought down, so EHOME 14 minutes in. Pretty good timing to take all those tier 1s when you've got a Dragon Knight, and they'll be at least pleased with the tempo this game's taking. Not the fastest Orchid for a Queen of Pain, but that's always going to happen when you go for this 2,000 gold Boots of Travel pickup. Oh, DK on the run, no TP, will pop a drums. Now he gets slowed down. Alchemist, just a level 1 stun available. One Nightmare comes out, may see a Fiend's Grip. He goes for it onto the Night Stalker. No cancel available just yet. The Walrus Punch a bit far away, but the LSA will be there in time. Duels now onto Dragon Knight. No LSA for this one, but the Dragon Slave, as well as the other nuke damage, can be more than enough. And EHOME lose a couple and possibly a third. Tombstone used defensively here, but that's something they can just look to focus down and then go on the Undying as well. They'll get the Tomb kill and the Undying kill. Walrus Punch secures it. Queen of Pain's now rotated in, brought down the Winter Wyvern. Can they get any more? Slider's ready to go. Has a Blink Dagger, but no answer to this Mule's combo. Here we go, one more kill going their way, and Queen of Pain, all she can do is just stand there and watch. We'll blink backwards and immediately TP out to the mid lane, giving up this bottom tower. A 4-for-1 trade in the end. As Newbie find themselves bouncing back. And that's with the Radiance Alchemist, not a hero who's in great fighting shape right now. It was just they constantly had the numbers advantage. When they were charging in, it was like a 3v2. They got a kill, then another EHOME hero arrived, and it was still a 3v2. It just, the entire duration of that fight, EHOME kept bringing heroes. Like, there was constant backup for the EHOME side, but they never really had everyone there at the same time. They lost one, then another would show up. So it was very much they were falling like dominoes, going in one by one, and giving Newbie too much of an easy time in that team fight. As a result, we see Alchemist back on top of the net worth chart. Queen of Pain being overtaken for now. We'll have that Orchid complete, I believe, as soon as that courier is available. May just head back to base to pick it up, and it looks like he's just going to farm as much as he can using his mana here and then head his way back to base, probably to rejuvenate and then make a move with his team. The Orchid timing, very much one you want to play around. You've got a Blink on Slider and Orchid on Queen of Pain. Dragonite with the drums. This is where you want to group up, go for a smoke. Maybe have one of your supports showing, pushing out a lane. Someone like Undying, or I guess Undying's more the hero you want in a team fight. Maybe the Bane just pushes out a lane nearby to where you want to go, and then you just take the fight without a Bane. As much as he is a fairly useful hero to have in a fight with the Fiend's Grip, it just feels too obvious if you smoke using too many. And they can actually go for a 3-man smoke, so Bane will remain showing on the map. Brain Saps one creep, then backs off, and Newbie have got to expect that something fishy is going to be happening soon. Bane just pushing like he is in this mid lane is almost an obvious sign that there are more nearby. They're picking out the bottom lane, but it doesn't look like that's going to be where they head to. Dire Vision will see the Bane now. Make his way over towards the Ancients. Sentry Ward gets planted, and that's about it for now. I guess I'm looking to... I'm not sure if this actually blocks the camp. It was planted not all too close to the Ancients here. Find out if they ever go... Okay, they're going to just deward it anyways. So here we go. Possible initiation coming up. Slider's going to be the one leading the way, I imagine. Not the tankiest, especially if he's in sprint form, taking the bonus damage, but the Blink Crush is essential for them. As the Sentry makes sure they're not being detected here. Alchemist immediately breaks out of the smoke, saying, look, guys, I want to farm. Let's go elsewhere. Do they know the Queen of Pain's up here? They're pinging this one out as if they do. For the Winter's Curse and then the Chain Stun from a Snowball as well as a Warrior's Punch to potentially try and get this kill. Over the top comes Winter Wyvern. There's the Curse. Snowball to follow. Warrior's Punch. Ice Shots. Can they get the silence? No, they don't get it in time. Getting slightly punished there for stacking the stuns. I feel like you should have waited a little bit longer before you went for the Warrior's Punch. It is a 1 second kind of disable with the airtime that you have in there. He wants to use the Snowball immediately so he can get in nice and close, but ultimately it just felt like the Night Stalker wasn't quite close enough when the Winter's Curse came out. Maybe if Wyvern waited like a second longer, but they were running in blind. They didn't have the vision of exactly where Queen of Pain was. It was a lot of guesswork going into play there, so... Smoke Gank will not succeed here, and it looks like a tower trade will come in as Newbie pressing the top lane, bottom lane being pressured by EHOME, and DK is going to apply a lot of good damage onto this with the corrosive attack, but he's getting snowballed in on the TP coming up. That's the follow-up from the Night Stalker. Nice little heal coming in, and Fiend's Grip onto Tusk. Where's the LSA? Not going to get a cancel immediately onto the Bane. Now the Night Stalker silence will be there. DK goes down to start the fight off, and it looks like DK did press his luck too far here in the bottom lane. Queen of Pain still in the neighborhood, ready for a Sonic Wave. Does cdec.y dare go for this one? I was about to say, that does not feel like a wise decision, but it does make the safer call to just back off for the time being. In the Radiant jungle, Alchemist will find himself running into a Slider fairly soon. Some amp damage being applied. Keep tabs of him, and Illusion Rune. That's a friendly rune for an Alchemist to get. Can farm with those and keep on piling up the Grievel's Greed. Not to mention there's still a bounty rune waiting for him up top, so he's going to get both these two runes. As that Manta style not far off. You would not believe this Alchemist had been crushed in lane with how farmed he currently is. He has recovered remarkably well. And right now, EHOME have their work cut out for them here in game number 2. Is bounce back in the side of Newbie as far as the overall net worth lead goes. And this is despite being an overall gold lead for Newbie, not really a lead you can count on when you've got the Alchemist, at least for now. You're still very much like, okay, we've got this lead, we're out farming them, but let's keep on out farming. You're not saying, okay, we're 5k gold ahead, let's go smoke and fight. Until you get more in the way of items, the Manta Style, the Octarine, the Lena Aghanim Scepter, Newbie's lineup doesn't really come online until 30 minutes plus. Right now, I still feel like EHOME have the overall stronger composition. Particularly when they can complete these BKBs. When they hit their BKB timing with Dragonite and Queen of Pain both having BKB, Newbie want to avoid fights at all costs. And well, unfortunately, it looks like Slider will find one. The Night Stalker getting Blink Crush. DK's done to follow this one up. Lena thinking about turning around to help this out, but don't think we can save his life. Another amp comes out, and it could lead into another Blink Crush. Slider, sprint wearing off, hits it onto the tusk. There's a DK stun as well in a couple seconds. Nice. Winter's Curse will prevent it. That saves their life for now. DK, defensive Nightmare, not going to save his life as Alchemist gets the kill. He swooped in and he's ready to fight. No Chemical Rage, no problem. Queen of Pain forced to blink back, and Slider's Crush maybe saves the Quap's life. Sonic Wave just going to be used pseudo defensively. There is an urn charge to heal up the Quap. Looks like Lena decides now is not the time to really try and fight. EHOME go full retreat. Blink Crush just onto a creep wave with the Alchemist illusion being missed. Queen of Pain now bottling up, finds a DD rune, so could actually re-engage off of this, although re-engaging into a Night Stalker not going to be the easiest thing to do. So it looks like no further kills, just the Dragonite for the Tusk and Night Stalker. So a 2-for-1 in EHOME's favor. Not quite the overwhelming team fight they were looking for. I feel like EHOME were hoping for it to go better, and it almost feels like at this stage, with the initial pickoff they got, it should have gone better. That to me looked like a fight where it could have been a 3-for-1 or 3-for-0 or something, but giving up the one kill, the DK going down, and it was a great kind of counterplay. That Winter's Curse could not have been better. Banana, I feel like saving that team fight for Newbie. So from here, we'll have to see if DK can even pick up the BKB at a reasonable time. He is really struggling for farm. Seeing behind the Tusk, Lena, and the Alchemist, of course. I mean, you wouldn't expect him to be anywhere near the Alchemist, but less farm than the Tusk has, and the overall farm on the Radiant side is not looking all too good outside of the Queen of Pain. Dragonite getting a slow BKB. It will be a 4-star pickup from Slider, which is a nice little utility item that offlane Sliders have been getting more and more. But he will also want to go back for a BKB after this, but probably deciding the BKBs on the 2 cores already going to be enough. As a 3rd core / offlaner, he can go for something that provides them that extra bit of mobility and save as well as catch potential. So bottom lane DK back to farm. It seems like EHOME going to take a breather, play the farm game for a bit. This really opens up the Alchemist to take over in terms of overall net worth, though. Already with a soul booster. Octarine Core not far away. Continuing just to power farm the dire jungle as well as any lanes that he can send his illusions to. Pops the Chemical Rage, and imagine we'll just be using this to make some Manta-style illusions to send on out, and there we go. They'll make their way out to these lanes. The hero gets the bounty rune as well. He's actually going to swoop around behind top lane. They see the Slider with this Observer Ward. This could be a kill if Slider's not careful. He's going to tuck himself into the trees. Are they aware of this? The Dire Ward seal? Yeah, they've actually seen him go in here. I'm not sure if they're going to try and make this play. The TP coming in. They're baiting on the Lena. Nighttime is popped. Slider, no, it's a Queen of Pain they want to go on. 3 seconds before the blink comes back up, and doesn't look like the Snowball will catch up with the Slider. Maybe the Alch should have gone for the Stun of the Slider there, but one of the bigger prides of the Queen of Pain. Some space opens up for the Dragonite to go for this tier 2, but not enough space because he's going to get called out. Ice Chance, Forest Punch. He's now locked in place, and that's a dead Dragonite. Without a BKB, he just can't go for those kinds of plays. The Undying now in the back foot as well. All he can try and do is TP himself the hell out of here. Looks like he should be able to do just that fairly safely. Tier 2 gets denied now as well, so a kill. Wait, what? Everyone's stuck? Oh, they're farming up zombies. Okay, so they farm up the zombies, then they go for the 2. It looked like they were just stuck on hold position, but there used to be an old bug with Centaur, Ag Stampede, and Tombstone where heroes would get stuck in the zombies and you couldn't move. And that was kind of like what it looked like there, but that was just Alchemist getting a ton of gold. Each zombie gives you the Greevil's Greed. extra money. So he was making mad bank out of the tombstone. And we're just going to see this continue to dip, and that's his Octarine core completed. Things starting to not look so pretty here for EHOME in game number 2. There's been too much uncontested farm going away the dire side, and whenever EHOME try and play greedy themselves, like DK going for a tier 2 tower, a bit of a greedy play, he gets punished. There's been no pressure or punishment dished out the way of Newbie. It doesn't even have to be directly on the Alchemist. If Alchemist is going to play greedy, go and fight his teammates. Gank Moo a bunch on the Lina. Find kills on Lina, on Tusk, but they just haven't been able to really get anything in the way of objectives anywhere on the map. Alchemist now getting completely out of control. As level 16 approaches, and I'm not sure if this is going to be a game to pull Agcept, as Lina already just farming one herself. The Night Stalker building one himself. Tusk's Ags, not the most impressive thing in the world. Although something, if the game does draw on long enough and Alchemist gets enough farm, he will do. One of the nice things you can do is just pull Lina and Ags, and then Lina sells hers. If you run out of item slots, like ultra late game Lina, likely to be somewhat item slot limited, so there is potential for that kind of a move out of the Alchemist when he gets ridiculously farmed, but he's going to prioritize his own item set. Get an AC, get an Abyssal Blade, maybe even a BKB, whatever it may be that he feels is his ideal 6 slot of items, the Moon Shard consumption, all that, and then he's going to be like, okay, Lina, you're out of item slots, here, have an Agceptor. Even before that, though, I wonder if you would see a Tusk Ags just for the Walrus kick, although, again, the few times I've seen this, it's not been a crazy spell, necessarily. At the top, I believe it is going to be Wyvern who kind of needs to lead the charge. Look, you can see Arctic Burn over the trees, Blink, Walrus Punch, Winter's Curse is there, they go for it, but I'm not going to try and secure the kill. The Orchid onto the Lina, preventing it. Now the turnaround comes from a Sonic Wave Scream, cdec.y. Really nice play. That Orchid onto Lina saves his life. Then he gets a kill out of it. Some great individual play. And his team, while this is all going on, say, hey, they're kind of a top lane. Can we actually get a Roche out of this? They're being scouted out, which does mean this is incredibly risky. They know there's no Winter's Curse, but still going for this is a very dangerous play to make. Deal with the Alchemist solution. They're going back in. cdec.y has got boots of travel. He needs to rejoin his team soon. TP towards the mid lane. Alchemist channeling up his stun. Will throw down on the Bane. Everybody's seeing the Acid Spray. This is doing some good damage. Also stopping the Slider Blink. He just can't get in. The Tombstone on the higher ground. A nice little spot for it to go. Queen of Pain, no BKB means let's play very defensively. No Sonic Wave as well. So EHOME kind of out of options here to fight this one. Slider gets a good crush off to finish off the Tusk, but it looks like the fight is going to go the way of Newbie. They've got a second and third kill. Lina just getting out of control. Triple kill. Possible ultra kill. The Sentry Ward detection is there, and Lina gets it. Ultra kill. Godlike. Roshan as well available. Everybody on the EHOME side just caving to the Newbie team fight. Not enough. I mean, the Queen of Pain can TP into that fight, but without Sonic Wave, without BKB, cdec.y just doesn't have the impact that he needs to have on that kind of a team fight. And the rest of his teammates can't do anything. Slider, pure mobility, and his mobility got taken out. Sitting in the Acid Spray, he couldn't use his Blink, only his 4-staff. DK did have a BKB for the fight, but this is such a late BKB. Look at this net worth on Dragon Knight, 8.6k. Getting roughly tripled by the Alchemist. And yet, here comes the AC, as you'd expect. So, things only going to continue to get worse, it looks like, for EHOME. And it really feels like it's slipped too far. Having a slight gold deficit against the Alchemist is fine for a while, as long as there's a plan to really take towers, control Roshan, take objectives, use the DK to really 5-man it. It just never came to be. The DK got caught out way too many times. We see 6 deaths on Old Chicken here. Normally plays very solid DK, and not to say he's necessarily played awfully this game. It's just been, he's been put in a position where like there'll be some space created for him by cdec.y, and then he's like, okay, cdec.y's off making space for me. Let's try and push a tower, but then the TPs punish him. And if anything, I feel like the overall play style and strategy has been off more than any individual play. The fact they were so spread apart, and split farming was the reason things have not gone as well as they should have. It's been much more that than like the DK dying, getting caught out. Like going for tower, like when the Queen of Pain's off one place farming, when Slider's off somewhere, as a DK, you're like, I can't just farm. I've got to push towers. So very much trying to play to his hero's kind of role, but you've got to play and draft around the DK, and that's exactly what I don't feel EHOME have done this game. There's been a few kind of individual play things where I feel like EHOME have maybe suffered, like the Slardar getting beaten pretty badly in the 1v1 lane against the Tusk. Got solo killed. He made a few kind of dives as well where he got heavily punished at the same time. And now we enter the stage where Newbie have perfect vision. Chizbug on the Night Stalker with Ags and Gems. Support Night Stalker getting out of control. They go in, they try to engage and bring down the Lina. That is not going to happen. The Snowball save is there, and the Winter's Curse coming out as well. They may lose one. It's going to just be a Tusk here, but looks like Newbie just want to cut their losses. They didn't have the Chemical Rage up. Slardar, 4-star 40. Is he really going for this? That looked insane. Okay, he gets an amp damage off, blinks backwards. His team were already deciding that was not going to be the play for them. The Snowball perhaps held a bit long. If Lina wasn't in the Snowball, we could have seen the Winter's Curse into a Laguna Blade find some kills, but the safer option, just save Lina's life and then just give away your own, and that's just going to buy Newbie some time to continue farming, to hold on to their lead and make sure they don't give up a big kill, which the Lina would be. The Lina's godlike streak is the one thing they want to try and preserve. Is an Aegis, though, so with an Aegis, I feel like they could have maybe tried to be a bit more aggressive there. I don't think Moo would have minded getting caught out a little bit. Oh, Curia. Down we go. In the back lines, Alchemist has found the Bane and should be able to get this kill. Dire Sentry is there. Undying will save his life. I don't think any counterplay is really available. In fact, it's going to be Slardar caught out by Yule's LSA Laguna. Easy pickings. They may not even be done here. They've got that high ground vision. The Night Stalker Ags is just allowing them to make these plays. They see anything that could potentially come their way, and they swing back mid lane. Well, EHOME's chances, they are melting right now. In game number 2 at least. Would force a game 3. By no means out of the summit for China. Winner bracket just yet. That's the other thing. Loser of this series, not eliminated. Just drop down to the lower bracket. But winner is just one game away from qualifying for Los Angeles. And to the mid-tier 2 tower we go. Alchemist on the front lines will lead the charge. AC in hand. And what item has he got on top of this? Boots of Travel picked up. Level 2 Boots of Travel at that. That's to say, I'm pretty sure he already had Boots of Travel, but it just means he can now TP on top of his teammates as they go looking for ganks. He doesn't have to have a creep wave there anymore. He can just TP directly onto a hero. All in all, EHOME are in Trouble Town right now. 15,000 net worth to lead, and Newbie probably just sitting around thinking, okay, our Aegis is about to expire. We're not going to be able to get a Rax with this, but they will be reaching a point soon where they can high ground push. Alchemist just one item away from being 6-slotted. Then you can consider pulling Acceptors, but they don't want to let this game go too long. That's the one thing. Alchemist 6-slotted happens very early. You're looking at like 40 minutes in where he's maxed out. He will finish off that 6th item. He'll buy a Moon Shard, may pull an Acceptor or so, but that's like 40 minutes in he can do all this. If this game drags to 50, 60 minutes, suddenly it's EHOME getting stronger, catching up, and Newbie, they've already peaked. So Newbie's lineup is about to peak. They do not want to let this game continue to drag, continue to play into the late game all that much longer. This next Aegis, I feel, has to win them the game. Because that's going to come up, what? I guess I didn't see the... Okay, so 5.5 minutes from now, they'll have an Aegis. That's going to be 40 minutes in. If they don't win the game with this next Aegis, or at least get a lane of Rax, EHOME gets stronger and scarier, while Newbie do not. Bane caught out mid lane. There's the TP in from the Alchemist. That's the other thing they can do. They may not even want to wait for the Aegis for that very reason. If you're giving EHOME time and breathing room to get more farm while your Alchemist is close to peaking, you're in trouble. So they say, let's just go now. Let's push before Roshan comes back up, and they're probably strong enough to do so. Alchemist does a buyback. He can always TP back in. Blink. Oh, no crush. Perfect silence. Chizbug. He saw it coming. The Ag's vision. He was ready with the fast click, and Slardar dead. Sonic Wave will go flying through. No one dead on the Newbie side. The Winter Wyvern, Cold Embrace will save his life. Will end up going down to decay, but it's, well, cdec.y Laguna taken out of the picture. He's dead for over a minute. It's GG. Alchemist will get one last kill. Bane will call it. The team wipe will be completed as Undying cannot hold his ground much longer, and we're going to a game 3. Both best of 3s today, going 3 games. Vici taken the distance by cdec, and now EHOME and Newbie will head to a game 3 decider. These top Chinese teams still in the bracket. We've got 6 of the best, well, these 6 best Chinese teams, 4 of them in the winner bracket, and then you've got IG as well as LGD waiting in the lower bracket. That's the scary thing here. If you lose today, you're versing either IG or LGD and fighting for survival. You want to win. You want to secure yourself that spot in the winner bracket final in the deciding match, because otherwise anything can happen. IG, a team who are very unpredictable, play some aggressive Dota and can upset anyone in this group. All 6 of these teams, to me, can beat any of the other ones. There are some who are stronger, more consistent, but it's not like earlier when there was Tongfu as well as cdec Youth in the tournament, where they're like, okay, these teams are solid teams, but they're not going to go the distance. They're not going to qualify for LA. That was kind of, I guess, at least the mindset, or it was at least a less than like 1% chance they would make it. For all the other 6 teams, we're looking at anyone with a fighting chance, anyone with a shot. So guys, we have got a game 3. We've got to decide. We're going to take a break, about 5 minutes or so, and be back with Newbie versus EHOME. Don't go anywhere.